We got the latest now on President Trump. After he pardoned and commuted the sentences of the January 6 rioters, some of the most high-profile defendants have already been released from prison. It's drawn angry responses from police. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott has the story. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. And the officers there that defended this Capitol on January 6 told me they started receiving these automated courtesy phone calls from the Department of Justice, letting them know that the rioters who they testified against, the ones who were convicted for assaulting and attacking them, were now being released from prison.
This morning, hundreds of rioters, including those who assaulted police officers on January 6, released from prison. President Donald Trump asked why he commuted the sentences of people like Stewart Rhodes, founder of the Oath Keepers militia, charged with sedition and sentenced to 18 years.
I thought their sentences were ridiculous and excessive.
Trump previously said he would look at individual cases, but the president, within hours of taking the oath, pardoned nearly all of the 1,600 people charged in the attack. 140 officers were injured as the mob stormed the Capitol. Officer Daniel Hodges screaming for help, crushed by surging rioters. Those rioters pardoned, or their sentences were commuted by Trump. In an interview, Officer Hodges, who is still on the force, telling me it's a miscarriage of justice. Former Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn testified about facing off against the mob.
I told them to just leave the Capitol, and in response they yelled, "No, man, this is our house."
He says the president is trying to rewrite history.
The officers feel hurt and betrayed, and it's a slap in the face.
In an internal memo obtained by ABC News, the chief of Capitol Police saying, when there is no price to pay for violence against law enforcement, it sends a message that politics matter more than our first responders. The president's pardons include more than 600 people charged with assaulting or resisting law enforcement. On Capitol Hill, many Republicans not pushing back. In 2021, Texas Senator John Cornyn said those who planned and participated in the violence that day should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
It's the president's prerogative.
Are you comfortable with that, though? Does that send the right message from your party?
That's not the question. The question is who has the authority, and the president has the authority.
As I've said before, we're looking forward to the next 4 years, not the last 4.
Others suggested the pardons went too far.
I do not support the pardons if they were given to people who committed violent crimes, including assaulting police officers or breaking windows.
But Alabama's Tommy Tuberville, who once said rioters who broke in should, quote, pay the price, now says he fully backs Trump's call.
But we're talking about people that were beating officers with fire hydrants, with metal batons. Is that acceptable to you?
No.
Those people were pardoned.
No, that's not acceptable, but I didn't see it. So.
What do you mean?
It's on video.
I didn't see it.
And of course, Trump going back on his own words after the attack, he once said that those committed violent acts would pay the price, George.
Rachel Scott, thanks very much. Let's also get a question about Pete Hegseth. He's the president's pick for defense secretary, facing new allegations now.
Yeah, senators on the Armed Services Committee, George, have obtained a sworn affidavit from the former sister-in-law of Pete Hegseth, who claims that he was abusive to his second wife, so much so that she had to hide in the closet and that they had a code word in case she needed help. Now, she does acknowledge that she never personally witnessed any sexual or physical abuse, and an attorney for Hegseth is denying these allegations, including those allegations of abuse, flat out. His nomination, though, is moving forward with the vote expected as early as this week, George.
Rachel Scott, thanks very much.